And I want to make sure that we keep this energy going. The message that Tim shared with us is really important. And one thing I kept thinking that entire time is being reminded of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., reminding us that hate can only be driven out by love. So, in the spirit of community that we're bringing today and our theme of building connections to promote democracy and racial justice, let's not forget and let's prioritize that love is at the center of all of this. And this is one of the messages that our keynote speaker is bringing to us today. So I will introduce quickly here Ms. Fernanda Ruiz, who is a proud Mexican immigrant, educator, and community advocate, committed to advancing racial justice through education, storytelling, and collective healing. She began her career as a 2019 Teach for America Corps member in Memphis, Tennessee, where she taught elementary Spanish and partnered with students and families to advocate for educational equity. Today, Fernanda serves as a recruitment manager with Teach for America, supporting and developing future educators grounded in equity and community impact. She also works as an education consultant and counselor for Latinx students, helping bridge access and awareness for young people, particularly those who will be in their families to attend college for the first time. She provides mentorship, guidance, and culturally responsive support throughout their educational journeys. And beyond her professional work, Fernanda is a writer and member of Pittsburgh's Latinx Artist Residency, where her work explores identity, belonging, and liberation from intergenerational trauma. Across everything that she does, Fernanda is dedicated to creating spaces where communities feel seen, supported, and empowered to imagine a more just and liberatory future together. She was named one of Pittsburgh Business Times 30 Under 30 in 2023 for her leadership and community impact, and I would love for you to join me in welcoming Fernanda Ruiz to the stage this morning.
Woo! Wow. Thank you all so much for welcoming me here. It is so good to look out and see such beautiful faces. To see, already tearing up, y'all. And I'll explain why these tears are coming up for me right now. I immigrated to the United States when I was 4 years old. All of my memories are here of Pittsburgh. I immigrated to South Side. I grew up going to school on Sarah Street. I lived off of Jane Street. I would walk everywhere with my mom, to the library, to the public park, to the pool. I have such fond memories of this city. And at the same time, during that period of my life, as young as 7 years old, I remember feeling foreign. I remember feeling alien. Kids, 7-year-old fellow students would ask me, "Are you illegal?" They would say, "My dad told me that Mexicans are all illegal and that you should leave the country." And I felt such deep isolation, deep fear, deep persecution, that me simply existing was not enough, that simply breathing and living in Pittsburgh was not enough. It was impermissible. And so I look at this room, I look at this event, 28 years and more years of activism, but I look at this room and I see so many people with such diverse backgrounds who willingly wanted to be here on a Saturday morning to build community, to think and analyze their practices and form deeper connections and build coalition together to advocate for justice. And that fills me with tears of hope, tears of gratitude that that the suffering and the pain and the depression that I felt as a little girl, but that so many Black and brown and Indigenous and white kids and Jewish kids and LGBTQIA kids feel on a daily basis, that they are who they are. So thank you for giving me hope. Let's continue to give each other that hope today. Let's continue to love one another and to be that source of care and light for one another. So thank you. I just wanted to, that's me starting off. I just had to say that. But my name is Fernanda Frine Ruiz Mendoza. I was born in Mexico City. My aunt is Monica Ruiz, the great and amazing Monica Ruiz, yes. I am not Monica, obviously. I'm not the executive director of Casa San Jose, an incredible title, incredible work that is done there. And so I come to you humbly as a beneficiary of Casa San Jose. I've been able to get such incredible support through this organization. They helped me apply to college. They gave me my first internship. They just helped me with so much. I could go on. And to this day, I now support them in a different capacity, getting to be an adult now that stewards and shepherds and guides the way for our younger Latinx community at Casa. And so I'm deeply grateful that Monica is who she is, that we all are who we are, and that Casa San Jose does what they do. And at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. When she called me 24 hours ago saying, my daughter, my cousin Adriana is going into labor. I need help. She said, this is last minute, but I know you, I trust you, I love you, you're gonna fill in. and as is usually true for so many people in community, our people, our peers, they see so much potential in ourselves, potential that we often don't see. I thought, no, I cannot. I am not, the executive director. I'm not all of these things. That those immediate thoughts of unworthiness came back. Those thoughts that I'm not enough. And thankfully, I listened. I listened to my elders, and I said yes. Thank you. I said yes. And I do want to take a moment, though, to acknowledge Monica, to acknowledge Adriana, and a woman who is Mexican, who is having a high-risk pregnancy, who's currently in a hospital about to give birth to her first child, Monica's first grandchild. And I would love if we could just take a quick moment of silence. If you pray, if you want to send good vibes, good energy, just let's take a moment to think of them. Because we know that childbirth is hard, that it is beautiful, but that there's also inequities existing in our healthcare system. And I just pray and ask that she has a healthy, joyous birth. They may welcome in a beautiful, beautiful new child into this world. Her name will be Maria Luna. And so let's just take a moment for her. Because that's what we do, right? We uplift. We uplift one another. So thank you for that small little moment of love. I come here aware of the inequities, aware of what's going on across our country, and aware that I'm just one person, and we all are just one people, but when we're together, when we're gathered as a collective, as a coalition, we're strong, and our voices matter. And so I'm going to share a bit about my experience growing up in Pittsburgh, the different challenges that I faced, but how I've come to reckon with what my role is now in pursuing racial justice and equity. Because it can be intimidated. I remember thinking, again, I am not an executive director. I'm not in this position of power. What's my role to play? How am I going to make an impact? But there is a way for all of us to make that impact. So, like I mentioned, I came to the U.S. when I was 4 years old. Pittsburgh is clearly now a language that Pittsburgh's clearly is home, and English is clearly a language that I speak very fluently and that I've assimilated to this country completely. I speak English better than I speak Spanish now. A harsh reality that I'm trying to get better at. But I came to this country as a young girl, and as I mentioned, I experienced a lot of racism. And what I'm now able to see is that I was a young girl breathing in the air of inequity, the air of white supremacist culture telling me, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I need to change my hair. I used to wish that I had blue eyes, that I was blonde, that I had a simpler name to pronounce, that I could be named something like Sarah or Brittany. I used to wish that. I used to wake up at 6 a.m. in middle school and straighten my hair every day. I would shave my arms because people would tell me that I was too hairy. And those were my realities as a little kid, and it's the reality of a lot of us. And at the age of 15, it was 2012, when President Barack Obama finally implemented policy that gave me just a trickle of hope. I was undocumented when I came to the United States. I lived most of my life in fear, and most of my life unwilling to dream that one day I'd be able to go to college. I just assumed that one day I'd work in a restaurant like my parents, or I'd clean houses like my family. And in 2012, when President Barack Obama signed the executive order for deferred action for childhood arrivals, that was the first glimmer of hope that I had. I had a glimmer that I could go to college, that I could one day drive a car with a license, that I could buy a home one day, that I could work and not fear being deported at any moment. That hope was important. That gave me a huge privilege. But at the same time, y'all, I was still deeply afraid. I was still afraid of having the last name that I have, the face that I have, the name that I have, all these things that are out of my control. And through organizing work, through people like Monica, through people like you, who told me, come, follow us. There are protests, there are rallies, there are teach-ins, we've got workshops, we have community. We are going to show you that you matter. That helped heal me in so many ways. Y'all don't even know. To put words to how I was feeling, that it wasn't me that was wrong, but it was the system that is wrong. A system that is designed intricately and intentionally to want to barricade me, to want me dead. That helped me, but it was just the beginning. In my teen years, through Casa San Jose, through different initiatives across PA, I became really involved in organizing and youth activism. And that helped, but at the same time, again, it still didn't feel enough. I still felt that hole. And what I realized, what a wise elder said to me, is that change needs to start from within. If I don't see that I matter, that who I am is important, if I don't love this me that I am as I am, I'm not going to be able to help. I am not going to be able to give to others. I'm not going to be able to stay in the fight. I'm going to burn out. I'm going to crash. And that was hard to reckon with, but over the years, what a privilege that I've been able to reach therapy, to have that level of support. That is a privilege. But through consistent therapy, through talking, through being vulnerable, through connecting with others and being honest about when I am just struggling, when I can't show up to that protest because I feel that I have no energy for anything, that I need to lay down. It's all part of the process to open up and to be honest with your community. All of that has taught me that it has to start with me. It has to start within. And throughout the years, I've also begun to lean on a power greater than myself. For me, that power is God. For others, that power greater than yourself may just be our community, this room, the love, the nature and the life that is all around us. That's a power greater than yourself that we can all grasp onto, and to keep us afloat in these moments where we feel like there's nothing standing or left to guide us and help us. So I come here just to share that message of hope, that message that when we're together, we're stronger, that through each other, we build each other up. Even this example of Monica calling me up and saying, I need you. That's what we do for one another. I want us to commit to that, to picking up the phone when someone answers and says, I need you. That's how it begins, and showing up. We can't overturn policies in one day. We can't abolish so many systems that are breaking us. We can't all in one day. We need to do it together, collectively, one day at a time, by lifting one another up, by telling one another, I've got you. We're actually going to turn to the person next to you and say, I've got you. I've got you. I got you. Just like Tim does, I got you. You have people here, even if they feel like strangers, I got you. We're all together, and we need one another. We can't do this alone. The forces of evil, the forces of this world are trying to bring us down, but only love can conquer, and only one another can conquer. So I think that's all I have to say. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, they got the cameras. We're good. All right. Yeah, let's give Fernanda another round of applause here. I want to say, Fernanda, thank you for answering the call literally at the 11th hour to be with us. Pittsburgh is blessed and honored to have you here and to have your family growing bigger with us today. So thank you. Just wanted to give a little overview of the day today. This is in your program books because, crazy enough, we're running on schedule. So you will be able to get to your workshop sessions and start building that community that we spoke of as a part of the theme. So bring your energy, bring your love, bring your insight, and we'll see you after these morning sessions to have some lunch. Join us for the Justice Jam in this room where you'll hear spoken word, poetry, music, dance, a little bit of celebration to lighten up the day and take that energy forward before the afternoon sessions. And then we'll come back for a closing conversation where we will have an intergenerational conversation happening, where we have youth from various organizations in the city of Pittsburgh talking with some of our elders who have been doing this work in the community, bridged together by some folks in my generation, our millennial, zennial generation, to talk about looking back and looking forward and how we build those bridges across generations towards racial justice. So thank you very much, and please make your way out to the morning sessions. You'll find some volunteers to help you all out. See you, everybody.